Hi guys, Beth here, aka Mediagirl94, and if you haven't already read the title, yes, I'm going to be reading/reacting to the first chapter of the first ever fanfiction that I wrote on the internet. Oh good god, I am ready for the cringe. Before we begin, if you want to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified of when I upload on the channel. Enough rambling, like I've already said, let's dive into some cringy fanfiction. As you can see, my first fanfiction was called The Third Sugg, in brackets, Zoella/Dan is Not on Fire, book 1 in the Third Sugg trilogy. You can't see that trilogy bit because Wattpad on my phone cuts it off. Yes, I made a trilogy. I pat myself on the back. And I actually tagged Zoella in it because I wanted the views, and I know that if you tag people, you're more likely to come up higher on the search engine. But Zoella is not the main character. The main character is an OC character that is actually her, well, it's Joe's twin sister, so Zoella's sister. And Dan is Not on Fire, or Dan Howell, is the love interest. Yes, I was all about getting as many tags and like as far in the search as possible. Let's, just scroll. There's going to be a bit of lag, I know that. Book 1, the Third Sugg trilogy completed. Let's read this blurb. You might already know my sister if you even internet Zoella. You might also be familiar with my twin, Thatcher Joe. They are both crazy internet famous, while I prefer to work behind the camera. That's probably why you've never heard of me. Alice Sugg. I run a blog and rule the Tumblr fandoms. There's more. There's more. What will happen when Alice is thrown headfirst into the YouTube spotlight? YouTubers include Zoella, Thatcher Joe, Pointless Blog, Sprinkle of Glitter, Marcus Butler, Jack Scapp, Amazing Phil, Dan is Not on Fire, and so many more along the way. Yeah, I was just giving you like a brief. These are all the YouTubers, pretty much all the Brits are going to show up in book 1. I don't know why I'm getting a little bit like, just reading this, and I'm like, wow, I was dedicated. I was also like, oh my god, she's like so internet famous. I need to compose myself. Oh, look, when I even go on the chapters, I didn't name them chapter 1, chapter 2, etc. Oh no. The first chapter is called The Third Sugg. Because if you're gonna name a chapter, you're going to name it after the title. Like I've already said, there's going to be a bit of lag between this and on my phone because my phone keeps playing up. Let's just press it and see what happens. Okay, some video loading at the top, which I don't think is actually a thing. The Third Sugg. As of filming this, 48,000, I want to say 48.8 thousand reads. That's individual reads on this chapter. 914 stars, which is votes, and 601 comments. I just don't read the comments on these fictions anymore. I just go to like my inbox and scroll through and go, wow, people are still reading them. Like, okay, I should probably mention this. I wrote this 2013 going into 2014, so we're looking at 6 to 7 years since I actually last looked at this. I also know there's going to be some bad grammar, punctuation, spelling. Don't come at me. I have no intention of editing this. Let's just scroll down. Okay, Alice. With all my fanfictions, when I'm doing a character's point of view, I always put their name at the top. It was 4 AM and I was still sitting up in bed scrolling through Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Wattpad, YouTube, and numerous other sites. That is not possible. Like, even if you had like multiple tabs up on your phone or your laptop, you could not be scrolling through all of them at once. I'm already picking out errors. I had little to no social life outside of my 4-bedroom walls. Give me the internet or a good book over social interaction any day. Okay, when my sister Zoe hired me with pay, may I add, I became not only her sister but her producer, editor, personal assistant and social media consultant. Can you tell that I like lists? List. Oh, I should probably mention that my sister has one of the most popular YouTube channels, Zoella, yes, the one and only. I believe at the time I was writing this she was one of the big Brits. She might still be one of the big Brits. I don't watch her channel anymore. Scrolling up. I bet you didn't know she had a younger sister. You know her brother Joe Sugg, or Factor Joe as he goes by on his channel, but I bet you didn't know that Joe had a twin, me, Alice Sugg. But they both called me A after my obsession with a certain popular TV show, Pretty Little Liars, great TV show, I was obsessed back in the day. The reason you don't know me is because I've chosen to stay out of the spotlight which shines brightly over my siblings. I prefer to lurk in the shadows and around the outskirts. My presence was felt, but you never saw me. 136. Don't know if that's on the paragraph or... Because with the comments, you can either click a certain line you like and highlight it, or a whole paragraph. Maybe one day if you want me to go through my comments, and I'll be able to read these comments out of context. Joe started his own channel after appearing in a few of Zoe's videos and quickly found himself amongst the popular British YouTube channels. He was funny and all out there while I was the stark opposite. I was shyer, socially awkward around people, hence the social isolation I put myself through. Joe and Zoe both asked me to appear in their videos, but I always refused, preferring to stay behind the camera where my true skills lay, or should be where my true skills lie. I am just criticising myself at this point. When Joe found out what I was doing for Zoe, he got annoyed and accused her of using me because I was never able to say no to either of my siblings. I defended Zoe, saying I don't mind because it was what I loved doing. Joe didn't speak to me or Zoe for a week, but after that we all made up and Joe somehow persuaded me to help him keep his own fan base under control. I love how he's like, right, Joe's like, how dare you use our sister? Wait a minute, I can also use our sister. Light bulb moment. Zoe and Joe both called me the Tumblr Queen because I had my finger on the pulse of all their tags and mentions across all social media sites. But Tumblr was where I dominated the most. My Tumblr addiction started with TV shows such as Pretty Little Liars, Doctor Who, Sherlock and Adventure Time. I had a blog dedicated to each fandom. I actually do have multiple Tumblr blogs. I have one that's dedicated to like Band Imagines, which is like a spin-off of my Band Imagines book. I will leave a link in the comments. I've also got one based on anime, so I'll leave both the links to my Tumblr blogs in the description. Nice little plug. Only when Zoe started gaining more subscribers and followers did I move over to the YouTube Tumblr community. And after a year or two, I wasn't to be messed with. I might be 5'5", I'm actually 5'4". I think at the time I was trying to base her around me, but I am 5'4". And look innocent, but this cat has claws and knows how to use them. Sassy. If you were to go against me on Tumblr, you might as well kiss your online presence goodbye because I had my own army of loyal subjects. Even though I was Joe's twin, I looked a lot more like Zoe. We both had long brown hair and big blue eyes, which were easily used to our advantage whenever we wanted something. Everyone said that our best feature was our eyes, and we both had to agree. We used to be able to trick people into believing that we were the other person, and the majority of the time people and some family members fell for it. But that was all we shared because we each have our own individual styles. Zoe was always stunning, no matter what time of day it was. She was a beauty guru after all. She was a beauty guru? Wow, I really can't say that word. But it was her cute and dainty wardrobe selection that made me gag. Joe mocked me that I dressed and acted more like a guy than a girl, but I was confident in my tomboy appearance. I didn't have millions of people to please day in, day out. YouTubers are under a lot of pressure to look great. Because I have a small following on here, I can look however I want. I was most happy in a pair of sweats and my Totoro hoodie rather than a dress. Of course I probably could look stunning if I tried, but trying to get makeup on me was a challenge, which Zoe had accepted and refused to back down from. A few strands of pink hair fell out of my messy bun and tickled my nose, taking me by surprise. I had the same length hair as Zoe, but she kept hers straight while I left mine naturally curly. I really had a mixture of Joe's and Zoe's hair colour, but I got bored and had the end dyed hot pink just because I felt like I was giving myself an individual style that set me apart from my siblings. Put the three of us in a lineup and I would be picked out as the odd one out. I owned an account on every social media site, and even though I was a sug, whenever I commented on Twitter or any other sites, fans called me a fake for having my last name as Sugg. If only they knew that @asug was in fact their idol sister, I bet they would quickly change their tune just to please my crazy internet famous siblings. I always prided myself on being different and unique. I didn't want to be mainstream. Sure, the majority of my friends resided on the internet and we weekly Skyped and did the occasional Google Hangout, but they were friends with me because I was Alice. They weren't pretending to be my friends just to get close to my family. I hated knowing that I could easily have hundreds, even thousands of new friends overnight, but each one of them would be fake. God, I like writing paragraphs. I don't think I've had any dialogue yet. As I refreshed all my open tabs one last time and a yawn escaped me, I came across a new tweet from Dan Howell, or Dan Is Not On Fire. It looked like I wasn't the only one still awake and on Tumblr. He no longer goes by Dan Is Not On Fire on his social medias. I believe he just goes by like Dan Howell or Daniel Howell. At Dan Is Not On Fire. If I could live on Tumblr for the rest of my life, I would. I love finding early morning Adventure Time gifs. He had shared a link to a Tumblr blog. It took my mind a few seconds to catch up with my eyes. He was on my Tumblr blog, Let's Be Stupid Forever, one of my old Tumblr blogs. I don't have it anymore, but I still own the name to it, I believe. I found it hard to conceal the squeal that had formed in my throat and not to wake and scare my sister who was sleeping in the room next door. My favourite YouTuber, second only to Zoe, read my Adventure Time blog. So Zoe's her favourite, Dan's number 2, and her twin is clearly number 3 or below. Before I knew what I was doing, I had clicked favourite and composed a reply. This wasn't like me to actually physically reply to one of my idols. Yes, he was just a normal person like my brother and sister, but he was the normal person who I'd been following for the last 4 years. Yes, I really was that dedicated. I was a fangirl. Sue me. At a sug, at Dan Is Not On Fire, thanks for liking my humble little blog. I clicked send before I could talk myself out of it and watched as I became the first favourite and reply. Okay, that was enough excitement for one night, or was it technically morning? Who cares? Either way, I needed my beauty sleep. Haha, like I needed to sleep the recommended 7 to 8 hours to look beautiful. No one ever saw me, so there no need for me to be refreshed. That should be no one ever saw me, so there was no need to be refreshed. There should be a was in there. Besides, my family and close friends were used to my night owl patterns and didn't question my appearance or mood. So, there we have it. That was the first chapter of the third sug, the first fanfiction I ever wrote. Like I said, back end of 2013, going into 2014, because I wasn't a quick writer, and the reason it became a trilogy, I'm gonna don't want to have a humble brag, but I actually wrote the first 3 chapters and uploaded them out of the blue, and I actually went to bed, and when I woke up the next day I was really surprised that those 3 chapters had blown up, and I had loads of comments, loads of votes, and loads of people being like, oh my god, this is amazing. So, you know, guys, thank you if you have actually read any of my fanfictions over the years. I have no intention of going back and editing this. If you guys want to see me, you know, read more of maybe the third sug or other fan fictions that I've written over the years, then the comments is the place to go. I'm just cringing knowing that I wrote that. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. We all write fan fiction. Some of us got better over time. I don't know if I got better over time. You guys might need to be the judge of that. I will leave a link to my Wattpad in the description below because I'm going to regret that, but there we go. What can I say? Maybe I want more reads. Maybe I want more votes. Maybe I want more comments. So yeah, like I've already said, if you want to see me do anything else more with my own personal fanfiction, comments is the place to go. Let's just wrap up this video before I blush even more. If you want to support me and the channel in the future, you can by clicking like to show me some love. You can click subscribe and tap that bell to be notified of when I upload on this channel. At the end of this video, you can check out my last 2 videos or playlist, depending on what mood I'm in when I'm editing this. Until next time, I'm Beth. Keep reading and writing fanfiction. Goodbye.